And good morning, world. It's about 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m. on the 23rd of June 2016. Although this is probably of little interest to anyone outside of Europe, or especially the UK, today in Britain there is a referendum. A very rare occurrence. There's only been a couple since I've been alive, to my memory. And there's a referendum to decide whether Britain stays in the European Union, in the European community or not. There's a few things that need to be mentioned here. Firstly, what not a lot of people are realising is that the results of this referendum are not binding. If, say for example, 52 or 53% of people vote to leave, government can overturn that opinion and say, oh, well, we're not going to leave anyway. Government has the final say, not the population. Not exactly what I call democratic. Secondly, we need to look at the astrology of this. The horoscope for the time that the polls opened at 7 a.m. this morning is quite innocuous. At the end of the last Grand Cross, the Grand Cross fades away this morning, and by tonight it has gone. But the horoscope for 10 p.m. tonight in the UK, in London, at the time that the polls close, is very revealing. The ascendant is something like 14, 15, 16 Capricorn. Pluto is at 17 Capricorn, so Pluto is on the ascendant. The midheaven is something like 19, 20 Scorpio. Mars is at 23 Scorpio, so Mars is on the midheaven. Pluto on the ascendant, Mars on the midheaven. This is signs of major change, of revolution, and of possibly something quite explosive. And I do not mean explosive in terms of a bomb or weaponry, but I mean explosive in terms of sudden changes. Now, I suspect that because of recent developments, especially the political assassination, because that's what it was, a political assassination of the MP Jo Cox, it's going to scare a lot more people who would otherwise have voted to leave into voting to remain. So I suggest that the outcome will be remain, but that the difference will be so small that there will have to be a few political scalps. And I notice how adamant David Cameron is at the moment, and I wonder if this is his swan song. Certainly the assassination of Jo Cox has had a big impact on British thinking, simply because there's just no guns in this country. The police don't carry guns, the criminals don't use guns, apart from the occasional nut job and fruitcase like this right-wing fundamentalist fascist who actually did the assassination. Unlike, for example, America, where I'm going to get into trouble with some of my American clients here, but I have to tip my hat to the Democrats who are doing a sit-in in Congress at the moment to keep the issue of gun law on the agenda. If the Republican Party had their way, everyone would be able to have a submachine gun and an automatic gun, whether it's in nightclubs or everywhere. The National Rifle Association would run the country. Believe me, the Republicans deserve Donald Trump. They really do. This attitude towards guns equals might equals right is ludicrous. I'm biased. I live in a country where there are no guns. Consequently, we do not get mass murders, apart from one every 10 years. Unlike America, where it seems it's a common occurrence. Guns equals violence. End of story. As we speak, the moon's in Aquarius. Very futuristically thinking, very moving forward for the future, very community orientated. So it does suggest that Britain will stay in the European Union, which will please the Europeans and please them much more than it will, I suspect, a number of Brits who will probably only vote just because of fear as opposed to what they really want. But on the one hand, as Ken Livingstone said, if voting changed anything, they'd ban it. It's not really a democracy where they can rig the rules of they can change the outcome of results regardless of what the population say. It's just a token nod. Same as in America with the gun control and the way that the party rules are being jigged about to accommodate or not to accommodate Donald Trump. In America, the democracy is palpably unfair. If there was a true democracy, Hillary Clinton would be using Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren as her running mate to get the youth on board. But that's not going to happen, because too many vested interests, too many bankers, too many black caucuses, too many Jewish caucuses not talking to each other. Democracy is an old Greek concept. It's never really been a viable option. We've always paid it lip service, but you know what? If we were to ban political parties, and if we were to have every major decision that affected every country put to referendum, yes, there'd be a few crazy decisions at first when the vested interest newspapers tried to sway everything, but over a period of time, it would be the best democratic exercise that's ever happened. And that's why I think this world really needs a true democracy. There you go, rant over. I look forward. By this time tomorrow, there's going to be a lot of unhappy people in the UK, no matter which way the referendum goes. Right, so I'm now going to go and do my constitutional right, and I'm going to go and vote. And do you know what? I still haven't made my mind up yet. Catch you later, world. Bye.